Jim, before we go too much further, by popular demand...
I think we've probably gone too far already, but go ahead.
By popular demand, the listeners are requesting your review of the star ratings for from the Wrestling Observer newsletter for AEW Full Gear.
Why do they keep demanding this?
Well, I think for a lot of people, it's their way of getting the news, finding out what's happening, what's going on in and around the crazy world.
We could just put on a rerun, because just what we need to do is just leave blanks for names. And then we will say, what did Dave think of blank versus blank? Because it was really the shits. And then you will say he gave it either 4 or 5 stars.
Well, why don't we play Guess the Dave? And you try to tell me what you think his star rating for the match will be.
Knowing that wild card, bitches.
It's a real wild card because you know he'll give star ratings to matches that he doesn't like higher sometimes. Depends on who's in it. So this is a real
Depends on who's in it. Yeah. Well, they're okay. There you go. So pitch it to me.
All right, let me pitch it to you.
All
right, sounds like you're ready.
Getting warmed up here. Do a couple of push-ups. Here we go.
Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn won a 4-way for $200,000 over the Outrunners, the Acclaimed, and Big Bill and Brian Keith in 7 minutes and 25 seconds.
Oh, good Lord. That sounds like a disaster. So he's not going to want to hurt anybody's feelings, but at the same time, none of, particularly that we know of his darlings, are in this. And as well, you got to start somewhere so he can go up for the Lollipop Guild. So he gave it 3 stars.
All right. This may be an interesting baseline to go by for the rest of the night. 2 stars. 2 stars from Dave Meltzer.
Jesus Christ, did somebody have a fucking coronary in the middle of the ring and shit themselves, projectile vomit into the crowd?
According to Dave, it was nothing special as a match.
Ooh.
So 2 stars means nothing special.
He hates them guys.
Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall, the team of Boom and Doom, we never figured out why he's Doom, beat Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta 11 minutes 55 seconds. What do you think Dave gave it?
Okay, he has a 4-way tag team match, at least amongst mostly experienced, somewhat professionals. And then he goes down to the gimmick match with the guy from Jersey and his corpulent son. He gave this one 2.5.
Well, pretty good. 2.25 stars. So you're within a quarter of a star. That's as good as 5 stars.
That's what I'm thinking. He at least, you know, he had to go somewhere, and instead of going down, he just went up. All right.
Jim, no star rating for this one. Eddie Kingston and Hook defeated Anthony Henry and JD Drake 1 minute 50 seconds.
Why is there no star rating?
Just a quick match to establish why Kingston and Hook were there, since they were involved in the main event finish.
Okay, but did they just go out there and blow on those guys and they fell down, took them 1.5 minutes to cover them? Or did they give you a, nice 1.5 minutes with a decisive victory and got the point across and everybody's shit looked good?
That's really interesting. What do you think? I mean, do you think there should be a limit? It has to be a certain length of time at least to register on the scale, or is it just...
Okay, well, by that line of his thinking, Bruno Sammartino versus Buddy Rogers in Madison Square Garden on May 17, 1963, wasn't worth rating.
Nothing special.
Nothing special.
Jim, the final match on the pre-show, as well as the opening match on the pay-per-view show, Místico and Mascara Dorada and Neon defeated Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Hechicero to retain the CMLL World Trios title in 13 minutes. What do you think Dave gave it?
You know, I must say, I like Neon's entrance music. He shall be Neon.
That's terrible. That is just
what? And he shall be Neon. He shall have a good match.
Well, how good of a match do you think it was? That's the question.
So, well, two of the competitors in the match didn't join it until they fucking blew off the pyro in the middle of the thing and ran off the goddamn cable television broadcast to go to the pay-per-view. And then the other guy just pulled up in his car because he didn't give a shit. And it was a mess from start to finish. So Dave had to give this one 3.5.
Once again, within the range, 3 3/4 stars.
Oh, geez, almost 4.
I would have guessed 4. I would have guessed that Dave gave this 4 because of Okada, and I would have guessed 4. Jim, Pac defeated Darby Allin 16 minutes, 58 seconds. Before you tell me what you think Dave gave it, I'll just tell you that Dave wrote, great match, but a weak finish.
Actually, it was a great match followed by the last week 8 minutes, but nevertheless. Well, you had to give that 4 stars, and it was potentially the most palatable thing on the program. But you just because of it's Darby, and he did a real fine job.
Oh, I don't have my horn here. I would hit it. Jim, 4 stars. You got it.
Well, there you go. I'm predicting. Oh my God, I'm thinking like Dave. What in the hell?
You've gotten good at this.
Somebody give me some kind of medicine.
Jim, Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa defeated Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne, Sky Blue and Julia Hart, and Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron 13 minutes 11 seconds. What did Dave give this match?
Well, obviously, I did not study it closely, so I can't, but I would imagine, and Brian, I'm sure you paid some moderate attention, but from the sound of it, it was scrambled eggs. I don't know whether or not that Dave has any favorites there, but he doesn't want to hurt any of the girls' feelings, I'm sure, because he's a compassionate fellow. 3 1/4.
Again, within the range, 3 stars.
Oh, no. He's being more honest than I gave him credit for.
Match was all action.
I'm sure it was.
All right, here's an interesting one for you, Jim. FTR defeated Brody King and Bandito to win the AEW World Tag Team Championship, 20 minutes, 11 seconds. What did Dave give it?
Well, as I recall again, that if you overlook, Dave loves Bandito because he loves all of that stuff. If you overlook Bandito's sloppy work, FTR made the mistake they make every time of having a really good or possibly great sometimes, or sometimes just as good as it could possibly be tag match, and then going 5-7 more minutes. It gets lost and the opponents can't keep up, or it just, Jesus Christ, overstays the welcome because it's too complicated. But having said that, I'm sure Dave loved the action. 4.5 stars.
Jim, 5-star match. This was one of the best tag team matches of the year. Great spots, great build. The match story was all about making Bandito look incredible since he was the one losing the fall at the end.
Well, then they failed in their mission if it was all about making Bandito look incredible, because he still looks half the shits to me. But in that case, the FTR Jay White Juice Robinson tag match from a couple years ago would have to be somewhere around 7 to 7.5 stars. Because that's the disparity in what the quality of the two matches were to me. But Dave, do go on.
Jim, Ricochet became the first AEW national champion, winning the Casino Gauntlet, 22 minutes, 53 seconds.
This parade of underneath talent, unimpressive, boring, bland, charismaless fodder, along with the stupidity of the Hurt Syndicate just going to sleep for 20 minutes and the rest of the botch ups. He had to kind of be halfway honest, even though there were people in here he didn't want to offend. So, but there's also other people in there he could say, well, they all sucked. So he charitably gave this 3 stars.
4-star match. 4 stars in the Observer.
Oh my God.
Jim, the next match, the 9th match of the night. Kyle O'Reilly defeated Jon Moxley in a no-rules match, 19 minutes, 16 seconds. What did it get in the Observer?
And boy, when you hear the actual times written out, you realize it's longer and more cumbersome than you even imagined. It's Moxley. He don't want to offend Moxley. He's probably scared of Moxley. This had to be a 4-star match. I'm not even going to attempt to justify why he would do it, but it has to be.
4 3/4 stars.
Oh, gosh.
It's as good as 5.
What are we arguing about then? What did this earth-shaking performance by, again, what is he looking at? With Moxley, especially. The idea that this fucking guy's fake bullshit and his sloppy work and his goofy demeanor is somehow palatable to all right.
A few more matches, Jim. Mark Briscoe defeated Kyle Fletcher in 24 minutes, 49 seconds to win the TNT title in a no DQ match.
This was thumbtacks, and didn't they wrap something in barbed wire? And it all blurs. I don't know what stupid, nonsensical gimmicks that don't exist in the real world that they used in this one. But again, the people love Mark Briscoe, and they all bled buckets. And Uncle Dave wants to put old Kyle over. So it's got to be 4.5, doesn't it?
5-star match.
Oh, all right.
That's 2 so far on this card, although Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly was just about there. The Young Bucks and Josh Alexander defeated Kenny Omega and the Jurassic Express, 19 minutes, 6 seconds. Winner gets $1 million.
Jesus Christ, when you say it out loud.
Jim, what do you think?
Oh,
How many stars do you think this got in the Observer?
Well, these are Dave's adopted children. So what's it going to be like at Christmas if he's given these other guys? It'll be like Robert F. Kennedy and Olivia Nutsy and the fucking river of semen flowing through the fucking back of the throat. His river will get cut off.
It'll be just like that, ladies and gentlemen.
Just like all these things that you see on the news. That's got to be 5 1/4 then, right? Because the Buckaroos are in it. How is he going to tell them they didn't do as good as his other guys?
This is somewhat telling. 4.5 stars.
Ooh, what? How did he blame fucking Alexander, or who did he put the blame on?
It's not just the Bucks. Omega's in that too. What does that tell you?
What? Yes, Jesus.
4.5 star match for the Bucks and Omega.
Of course, it wasn't worth 2 French fried titty fucks and a fucking slimy onion. But what did he find wrong with it?
He didn't say anything was wrong with it.
Oh, it just wasn't as good as the other.
I'm looking for through his notes here, just kind of saying what move went into the next move, and no real commentary on the match itself.
He loves to talk about the moves, doesn't he?
Jim, Chris Statlander defeated Mercedes Moné, 23 minutes, 1 second.
Okay, again.
Wow, I didn't realize it went that long. Wow. Wow.
Oh, I thought one of them could have got impregnated and fucking given birth in the time it took him to finish that thing. But he's got to admit that people were like, Jesus H. Christ, will they please get out of this thing and let's just get this over with by that point. And it drug on. And will he charitably? Because he don't want to offend Miss Moon? Give it 3.5, maybe now?
Jim, 4.25 stars.
What the fuck what is he looking at?
I think it's a star for every 5 minutes.
That match was as good as many Flair and Steamboat main events and Kurt Angle and fucking Undertaker and Michaels and all these other that.
And finally, Jim, one more match. Samoa Joe defeated Adam Page in a cage match to win the AEW title in 14 minutes and 22 seconds, which Dave notes here, the shortest pay-per-view main event in the history of the company. What do you think?
And how long was it?
14 minutes, 22 seconds.
Jesus Christ, and that does tell that they have some excessive fucking matches. If that's the shortest pay-per-view main event in the history of the company, 15 minutes. No wonder the show's never fucking end. Because every once in a while, it deserves it. Just get in and get out. But anyway, I've seen more excitement, people trying to roller skate in fucking quicksand than was going on here for the most part. And it was 5 hours or whatever into this thing. I don't know what he's going to say, but to me, even him being charitable is this 3.5.
3.5 stars.
Holy shit.
So you're two for 13. 2 for 13. That's pretty good, though. I think that's pretty good.
Now, whether any of these ratings of mine or his were in any way exact, is the answer to that is no, but I was trying to guess what he would say. And he still astounded me with his goddamn verbal fellatio.
What are your thoughts on main event time? The length of time that the main event has, I guess. Just the variety of matches. If this is the shortest match for any AEW, did he say pay-per-view? Yeah, pay-per-view main event. There's never been a match shorter than 14 minutes and 22 seconds. Does that say that? I mean, is that a problem? Is it not a problem?
Yes, it's a big problem. Because it shows that they're deliberately writing down, here's what we want you to go, or here's what you want to go, rather than here's what you ought to go. And sometimes you ought to go. And that's the example that I mentioned, the most pivotal, important, business-changing match in history. Rogers and Sammartino was 48 seconds. And one of the reasons it was memorable is it was such a quick and concise defeat of a major fucking superstar that it made the guy that did it. And you can't do that but once in a generation or whatever, but still it fits the fucking criteria. And how many times have you seen a classic match from any of the territories on YouTube or whatever, where they went and they blew into the ring and they tore the house down for 8 to 10 minutes and the finish, and oh my God, and there's people snatching at people and it's just chaos. Sometimes that's called for, but you never get it anymore because everybody's worried about filling up their fucking time so they can have a classic match. And the reason why in the territories, the classic matches are not remembered because of how long they were, but because they needed to be that long for those guys to be that good. you didn't, if you were drawing money with specific guys with specific styles, you went with their styles. The Sheik drew money, but he didn't go fucking 30 minutes. He went 5 and it burned his territory out, but not until he'd made millions of dollars. If he'd pulled back on it a couple years quicker, everybody would have prospered. But it is sometimes necessary because of the style of whoever you get over. Jimmy Valiant drew, I don't know how much money, not only in Memphis, but in the Carolinas. Right before the 86 boom, Jimmy Valiant was as hot in the Carolinas in 84 and 85 as Dusty Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat or goddamn the Rock and Roll Express when they first came in. You have seen the footage. It was goddamn amazing. Nobody wanted to see Jimmy Valiant go 15 minutes because at that point, he was in his 40s and it was the gimmick and the promo. And Jey Uso, except they're making Jey Uso go fucking 30 minutes.
His entrance goes 30 minutes.
But that is the problem. And that's the problem why the matches blur together and seem the same. The booking, one of the responsibilities of booking is to determine the length of the matches. And you don't just go to the guys and say, okay, I want you to win and just how much time do you need? Because they'll always say, oh, we're going to have a classic. No, part of the story, part of the fucking ongoing saga between the rivalry between these two entities can be that they had a fucking fast-paced, goddamn knockdown, drag-out match and it was over quick. And the next time the guy's going to go longer because he's going to do this, that. It's a roller coaster. So you tell the guys how long you want them to go, and you say, I want it to jumpstart it. The heel fucking gets heat on the baby face who gets hope spots until finally in 7 or 8 minutes he blows his big comeback, and then the goddamn fucking other guy jumps in, or you have the guy kicked in the nuts or whatever the fuck. It doesn't all have to be half an hour long. Because then there's something to come back with and come back over. Instead of just, we've done everything we know how to do and now we'll get out of it. So that's depending on the style of the persons involved and how over they were and how over one guy was where you played to his strengths, and depending on the story that was being told amongst these entities over a long-term basis, you would have long matches and short matches and everything in between. All through the dawn of goddamn time in wrestling. Only the marks who now inhabit various positions in all the companies apparently think that a match has to be 30 minutes long for it to be classic.
Well, those were the star ratings in the Observer for AEW Full Gear 2025, as well as a little bit about the main event match length. Jim, AEW, the one thing they say,
yes,
they purport, to use that word again, they purport that their pay-per-views have had tremendous sales. And you've heard Dave Meltzer say it too. You could say whatever you want. The pay-per-views are doing great. And when you look at what the television ratings are, it is a remarkable conversion rate. It's something that you have to wonder if it's indeed true, and we have not seen a shred of documentation to back up any of these things. But you have to wonder how much better they could do with a great team to partner with them to help sell. Like our friends at Shopify.
You mean experts. You mean people that are used to selling all over the world, all over your bodies, with just millions of businesses all over this big blue marble of ours. 10% of all the e-commerce in the United States goes through Shopify, the purple shop pay button. You're saying if they had, instead of a bunch of local yokels from the Jacksonville Kmart down there in AEW, if they had professionals, a team, award-winning customer support working to sell this bogus dipshit product that they've got going on here, well, they might make more money. And then they would hear that cha-ching ringing in their ears of the cash registers, especially at the holiday season. That's, I think, what they need, folks, at Shopify. Right now, Shopify.com is where you need to be going if you want to hear your cash registers ka-ching. Is that ka-ching ready yet? There it is. Thank you. I was one short.
Now
I'm one ahead. It won't stop. That's right. The money will not stop pouring in, ladies and gentlemen. If you turn your dreams into reality and your business into an ongoing concern instead of a source of major concern, if you take your little puny, overlooked, willy-nilly little organization that you have put together and it's drawing no money. You're Kansas City. You're on the verge of closing. You got to go to work with the big boys. That's why Shopify will give you a hand up and a leg up and a hand job. They'll give you a big round of applause.
Again,
that's kind of hand.
They'll give you a hand. They'll help you, a helping hand. Let's call it a helping hand.
They'll give you handiness to turn those dreams into that money that you've always wanted and give you a shot at success. They will shoot you out of a cannon right at the target of success. What? Metaphorically.
I hope so.
Well, now the guy at the circus, that's something you don't see anymore. The guy gets shot out of a cannon. If one of you human cannonballs that used to work at the circus, that's unemployed now, if you'll go to Shopify, they're wide open for human cannonballs. They can service you instantly. You can be being shot from one end of this country to the other by tomorrow.
No, again, ladies and gentlemen.
But the rest of you, if you'd like to be cannon fodder.
No, not cannon fodder.
Then just stick with what you're doing now. If you want to be cannon fodder, but if you want to be the cannonball and you want to just mow down everything in your path, that's where you go to Shopify.com/JCE and sign up for that $1 a month trial period so they can show you how they will take that big round piece of metal and they will put you on the end of it and they will shoot you into the successful land of glory and across the Rainbow Bridge and through the valley to Grandma's house for Christmas.
I want to remind you, Jim, of course, a friendly reminder that for this show...
Yes, I'm out of breath now.
For this show, it's Shopify.com/Cornette.
Oh, they changed it on me. Shopify.com/Cornette. That's my name. See, that's when they go back and forth, but you get the deals, one or the other. But Shopify.com/Cornette will turn your home into a cannon place where they will cannonball you.
It will turn it into a cannon place, ladies and gentlemen. That's the guarantee from Jim Cornette, not from Shopify. Yes. Of course, Shopify is there to help you, help your business. They help us. They help our online business. We can justify or verify or say that we use them.
Testify
to the strength of Shopify.
The strength?
The strength.
I thought you said shrink.
Well, whatever.
See, that's something a lot of businesses are going through is shrink. You need to pair up with Shopify so your balls won't shrivel.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Shopify.com.
Shopify.com/Cornette. That's what it is. Cannonballs.